Hello everyone, this is Here's Trivia. Welcome back to Season 4 of our subscriber game tournament as we continue here in Round 1 with Group E action starting with the first match with Trivenicus in the green versus Peppa Pig Gaming in the red. Now looking at the compositions here, for Trivenicus we have He Zhang Bao, and Yuan Shao, bringing an army of spear units mixed with a few cavalry. So the units kind of all over the place. We have some very cheap low-end unit with the Peasant Spearmen, a couple of the Stork Shield that's sort of anti-range. I think those are Zealots of the Way, a unique unit for Zhangbao. They use a glaive, have decent damage, but pretty fragile in terms of armor. And then a Yao Guai Hunter to provide vision. Then on Yuan Shao, we have some of the Northern Lancer Cavalry. They're decent, but nothing too crazy. Of course, for the generals, we have infantry boost on He and the distant courage on Yuan Shao. Then looking at Peppa Pig Gaming's comp, we have Zhang Jiao, Sha Mo Ke, and He Man. And the unit composition is kind of similar. We have a full unit of cavalry in the Messenger of Heaven under Zhang Jiao. Then we have Axe unit under Sha Mo Ke, Nan Man unit that are actually pretty powerful. And then we have 4 of the Yellow Sky Heralds, which are unbreakable. So it provides quite a dichotomy where the cavalry versus cavalry matchup favors Peppa Pig Gaming, and the infantry versus infantry matchup also favors Peppa Pig Gaming. But if you flip it, if Trivenicus is able to send his spear unit on top of the cavalry, he can beat the Messenger of Heaven with his spear unit. And if he uses cavalry to charge into Peppa Pig Gaming's melee infantry, his cavalry can kill the melee infantry. So this matchup can go either way, depending on how the micro is played. So it'd be interesting to see how it plays out on the battlefield. Now, as we load into battle here, both setup are pretty standard. We have infantry in the front, cavalry in the back, infantry in the front, cavalry in the back. And for this battle, I think the key is whoever has the range has the initiative. Now, none of the units have range, except for the Yao Guai Hunter, which is not going to do too much. But we do have a general that have hail of arrows. So if Peppa Pig Gaming can use He Man to kind of bait the cavalry to chasing him, or bait the general to chasing him, and he can score a cavalry versus cavalry charge attack, that would solve the problem of the counters, because then even if the infantry floods in afterwards, his infantry can respawn, as long as you get an infantry versus infantry fight and not have the cavalry charge into his infantry. I think his side actually is pretty favored. So let's see what happens here. We have a stare down. I mean, they have to kind of look at what the other units are, because it's a mystery. I would not lead with the infantry because they're actually kind of vulnerable. Looks like Trivenicus doesn't want to go into the forest, so he's just going to the side. Meanwhile, Peppa Pig Gaming's taking a pretty aggressive stance. Okay, the cavalry's coming up first. I mean, they're faster. Doesn't mean he's actually commanding them to go first. I think he's just placing his units. Right, I think He Man can walk up with the generals and the cavalry right behind and just start shooting hail of arrows. They have to respond some way. And if they send out their cav or send out their generals, you can then respond with your cavs and basically prevent the situation where the cav gets a good charge on the infantry. He's sending his units up first. Why? These are the most vulnerable parts. I mean, when you see Zhang Bao, you have to kind of expect Poison Arrow being selected. I mean, without Yao Guai Hunters, I don't think Zhang Bao gets many picks. It's not like his abilities are that amazing. But yeah, it looks like he's going to start shooting Poison Arrows. What to do now? Should probably never lead with infantry here. I think that's the big issue. Now the good news is Trivenicus is not spreading the poison, it's just targeting one unit, but this one's just splash damage. Basically, it was aiming for this and it accidentally touched some. Ooh, why try to flank? These are all spears. They should just back up the infantry. We got the generals coming out, harassment to try to stop the hail of arrows.
Is Cavalry trying to greed for a really good shot? Okay, try and turn invisible, trying to increase speed. This is just, what is this? You're just walking right into their cavalry. Why not shoot from the side where your cavalry is going to help you prevent that? Well, he's never getting a shot off. And they're dismounted. Wait, why did he dismount here? What is this? Okay, this is them trying to come help and they're getting dragged into the line. That's an accident, but why not just fight from that side? And then we have Shamoko just running into a bunch of calves by himself. Okay, I understand logic trying to get a good shot by dismounting. You shoot faster with it, but like in front of their cavalry and then shoot with friendly damage into your own units. Okay, good charge there. Getting charged here. The cavalry's not doing anything. And then we see that Shamoko's already half health. Heman's pretty damaged. Here comes the infantry. Now the cavalry's going to have a hard time doing too much here. And no one's touching Distant Courage, which will make them unbreakable essentially, versus the unbreakable units. Too much time. Just charge. There's no distance to charge at this point. Why circle all the way around this? What are we flanking? They're still not charging. They're getting charged. Why not just charge this? There's no spear here. Now they charge into a spear? I feel like they're desperately trying to get a flank. But like, that's a terrible use of cavalry. Okay, point blank shot to kill He Yi. Good job. Will Zhang Jiao die? Zhang Jiao should just be sent to Yuan Shao. Just keep chasing him. If they kill him, obviously the invincibility activates. And no one's fighting this guy. There was 6 cavalry all clumped into this setup for no reason. They could just... If they were going to spread out, there's a lot of places to spread out. Now the cavalry is murdering the generals. He is being sent at... Okay, that is good. Getting him in combat. Now, Shamoko, unfortunately, is just getting picked off by Zhang Bao right here. See, once he gets in combat, you can see the route coming in right away. The problem was the complete waste of the cavalry. Temporarily using ability to keep them buffered with the unbreakable. Just keep chasing him. It's a very awkward situation. Now, is he going to get a command to go charge into this? Oh, don't stop! Don't stop! So much friendly fire. And this is just a waste of cavalry right here. Got caught into spear by looping around. You looped around into the spear, which is just not what you want to do. If they just frontal charge the cavalry and kill the cavalry, they could pull back and do a bunch of other things. But now they're just stuck with the spears and they're just going to die. Okay, this is good. Can they still pull out a win? They need commands here. They were fighting this. Now they need a command to fight this. They can win. The infantry quality is definitely higher for Peppa Pig Gaming. But the cavalry just got dumped. Well, all the cavalry are dead. And Heman's not long for this world either. Yeah, Zhang Jiao got lost. Zhang Jiao probably shouldn't dismount. Zhang Jiao should just chase him since the beginning. That was probably the best thing Zhang Jiao could do. You can't actually counter that. And now Trivenicus is getting a flank on the infantry, dragging the cavalry over to chase the generals, dragging the infantry over. Well, there's definitely neglect on both sides. I think army loss is kicking in. Yep. Essentially, oh, we did get the invincibility. Can this swing it back a little? Can he use this minute to get some kills? There's just not enough units left at this point, though. So yes, these guys are invincible. There's 5 of them. 19 here and 25 here. Still 34 seconds. We should probably ignore him for this time. Not send everyone to him. I think they're trying to run delays against the generals. I don't know if you can get dismounted during invincibility. I think you can. So maybe hide him behind some spears. Yeah, that's a good route. Try to get him to run through these spears. I guess the cavalry might as well chase him. Unbreakable. And pretty well played. I think large part is misplay by Peppa Pig Gaming with the cavalry usage. But aside from that, I think Trivenicus overall countered it pretty nicely. I think the mistake started with the cavalry on one side and then the general went to the other side for some reason. Right? If the generals were here and they start shooting same angle, the cavalry can back them up when the enemy cavalry comes. Alright, we're just waiting for the unbreakable units to all die off. Ren should stay out of combat and just let Junbao charge this. Or charge this first. Doesn't matter. He doesn't actually need to fight. Yeah, that's good. Because he's better off providing some bonuses for everyone else, including charge bonus. And these should die pretty quickly. The charge damage is good. Now the general's just going to get some one-hit KOs on the units. And we should be done right now. Good fight. I think it played out pretty similar to how I expected it. Essentially, whichever side can land the right cavalry charge wins. As the cavalry is superior on this side, but they're terrible against the infantry option, so they needed to charge the cavalry. If they can wipe out this cavalry group without this cavalry doing much, then they're free to help their infantry by rear charging. I think Zhang Jiao should have just been sent to chase after Yuanshao from the very beginning, and then He Man and Shamoke can rotate to the side backed up by their cavalry, and then they can easily get off their hail of arrows. If the goal was to shoot the hail arrows, I don't think the infantry should have charged up at all. They should just waited, and then you can basically have a clear shot without risking any, friendly fire, which was what happened at least twice. Dismounting was not terrible. I mean, you're basically committed at that point. You're not going to run away. If the enemy cavalry charges you, He Man's losing at least half of his health. He's not unbreakable, so I don't know if that's a great trade. Essentially, to get a faster shot off, and then just basically going all in on your first hail of arrow usage, probably not the best way. There was a good hail of arrow right into He Yi's face, and that kind of killed He Yi at point blank. Usually you have to be dismounted to shoot those without getting interrupted by the direction changing on the horse. But overall, pretty good fight. I think Trivenicus set it up pretty nicely. A lot of it was gifted by enemy mistake, but he still played it out pretty well, and the flanks on the infantry was good micro, and the cavalry usage was definitely very well as well. So, good match to start off Group E, and we have 2 more today. Hope you guys look forward to those, and we'll see you guys then. Bye!